Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. Today's lesson is one that's as old as time. She thought you were replaceable until you disappeared. It's an ancient truth that men have grappled with for centuries. When you make yourself too available, too accommodating, you invite disrespect. History is filled with tales of men who learned this lesson the hard way, and of those who used it to become kings in their own lives. You see, in Roman philosophy, Seneca taught that self-restraint isn't just about denying pleasure, it's about commanding respect. When you're willing to walk away, you gain leverage not only over the relationship, but over yourself. In love, many men forget this. They chase, they plead. They try to prove their worth to someone who's already decided they can be replaced. And yet, the moment they vanish, the illusion breaks. Suddenly, you're not just another option. You're the absence that cannot be filled. This is not about manipulation. This is about understanding human nature. In this video, we'll journey through 4 chapters designed to open your eyes and strengthen your spirit. 1. Why women test men and how disappearing changes the power dynamic. 2. The psychological effect of absence on attraction. 3. Ancient wisdom, the Stoic approach to detachment in love. 4. How to build a life she can't replace. By the end of this lesson, you'll see that your value doesn't come from what you give her. It comes from the man you become when you know when to walk away. So sit back, open your mind, and embrace the kind of masculine self-respect the modern world wants you to forget. If you're ready to become the man no one dares to take for granted, keep watching and join the conversation below. Drop a comment. Have you ever disappeared from someone's life only to see them chase you back? Share your story in the comments. Let's learn from each other. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe if you believe in building unshakable masculine wisdom. Chapter 1. Why women test men and how disappearing changes the power dynamic. Listen closely. This isn't just a theory, it's a reality every man must face if he wants to master love and command respect. Women test men, not because they're cruel, not because they want to hurt you, but because on a deep evolutionary level, they're wired to look for strength, consistency, and self-respect. In ancient tribal societies, a woman's survival and the survival of her children depended on the quality of the man she chose. Was he dependable? Was he confident? Could he provide? But more importantly, could he stand firm when tested? These tests weren't always conscious. They might come as disrespect, dismissiveness, emotional games, or the silent treatment. She wants to see if you'll lose your center. Modern men call this shit testing, but that term is too crude for something so deeply ingrained in our psychology. The Stoics understood this dynamic. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When she challenges you, she's asking, can you control yourself, or will you collapse? This is where most men fail. They think proving their worth means chasing harder, pleasing more, explaining themselves endlessly. They think if they just say the right words, she'll understand. But words are cheap. Women don't trust words. They trust actions. And there is no action more powerful than your willingness to walk away. The power of disappearing. When you disappear, not in anger or spite, but in calm certainty, you change the entire power dynamic. She realizes you're not like the others. Most men cling, they beg, they negotiate their value, but you vanish. You give her silence, you give her absence. And in that emptiness, she confronts a truth she wanted to ignore. You are not replaceable. She remembers your presence because now there's a void. She feels your strength because you chose yourself over her approval. This isn't about punishment, it's about consequence. In ancient Japan, the samurai believed in fudoshin, the immovable mind. They trained themselves to remain calm and centered, no matter the storm around them. When you disappear, you practice your own form of fudoshin. You refuse to be shaken. But why most men fail this test? Let's be real. Most men don't have the stomach for this. They're terrified of losing her. They see her attention as oxygen. The idea of her moving on kills them inside. So they keep giving. They keep chasing. They degrade themselves without even realizing it. And the more they chase, the less she respects them. Women can smell neediness like smoke in the wind. But when you disappear, you do something rare. You show you're willing to lose her to keep your self-respect. That's the kind of man she remembers at 2 a.m. That's the man she compares others to. Disappearing is not game playing. Let me be clear. This isn't about childish games or manipulation. It's not ghosting to hurt her. It's not disappearing in rage. It's stepping back when you see disrespect, when you see she's treating you like you're replaceable. It's saying without words, I know my value. I don't need to explain it. I don't need to prove it. You'll feel it in my absence. This is what ancient Stoics called apatheia, freedom from unhealthy passions. Not coldness, but clarity. When you disappear, you force her to face her own emotions. At first, she may feel relieved. She may think she won, but over time, the truth sets in. He really left? He's not chasing? Why doesn't he care? Was I wrong about him? Women live in emotion. And silence is the loudest message you can send. In that silence, she must reflect. And if she truly valued you, she will return humbled. If she doesn't, good. She did you a favor. Because why would you want to keep someone who doesn't see your worth? Your responsibility as a man. Your job is not to convince her. Your job is to become so solid, so self-contained, that you don't fear her absence. Because you know, the right woman will never want to lose a man like you. And if she tries to treat you like an option, you give her the gift of missing you. That is true leadership in love. Drop a comment below. Tell us if you've ever walked away and made them realize your worth. If you find value in this wisdom, like, share, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe. Let's reclaim the kind of masculine honor the world needs right now. Chapter 2. The psychological effect of absence on attraction. Let's talk about something most men never understand, yet every successful man learns sooner or later. Absence is power. It's not a trick. It's not mind games. It's one of the most deeply rooted psychological principles in human attraction. People value what is scarce. Think about the things you want most in life. Are they easy to get, or do they demand sacrifice, patience, and effort? From ancient times, kingdoms prized rare spices, silk, gold. Why? Because rarity signals value. The same is true in love. When you're always there, always available, always saying yes, you become common. Predictable, taken for granted. Women may say they want a man who is always there, but the truth is they want a man who chooses to be there because he wants to, not because he has to. In ancient Greece, philosophers taught the concept of enantiodromia, that things reveal their true nature by their opposite. Light is understood only because there is darkness. Joy feels sweet because we know sorrow, and closeness is only meaningful because there can be distance. When you're always present, there's no contrast. There's no space for her to feel your absence, and therefore no space to appreciate your presence. What happens? When you leave. When you step back, you create a vacuum. At first, she might not notice. She might even enjoy the quiet. But as time passes, the mind starts to wander. Why isn't he calling? Is he seeing someone else? Did I push him away? Emotions flood in, insecurity, regret, longing. Absence forces her to reflect in ways your words never could. This is why arguments rarely solve anything. Men try to explain themselves logically. I did this for you. I just want you to understand. But emotions aren't changed by words. They're changed by experience. And silence is an experience she cannot ignore. Throughout history, wise men have understood the power of strategic absence. In Sun Tzu's The Art of War, he says, "Appear at points which the enemy must hasten to defend. March swiftly to places where you are not expected. This isn't about war in love, but it is about strategy. Appearing everywhere all the time makes you predictable, uninteresting. Withdrawing makes them wonder where you are and why. It shifts the balance of power without saying a word. Modern psychology has a name for this: reactance. When someone feels their freedom is limited, they rebel. If you push too hard, they resist. If you demand love, they resent it. But when you withdraw your attention, you do the opposite. You give them freedom, and in that freedom, they often choose you, because they're free to wonder, free to remember, free to want. Some men hear this and say, "Isn't this toxic? Isn't this playing games?" Let's be clear, this only becomes manipulation if you're faking it, if you don't really have the strength to let go, but you're pretending you do to get a reaction. True absence requires real self-respect. It means you're willing to lose her rather than lose yourself. You're not withholding love as punishment. You're stepping back because you refuse to beg for what should be given freely. Women might not admit it, but they respect men who set boundaries. They respect men who have standards. They respect men who say, "If you can't see my value, I will leave." Not as a threat, not in anger, but in calm certainty, because you know your value isn't negotiable. Absence isn't just about making her miss you, it's about giving her an emotional journey. When you're always there, there's no story, but when you're gone, she must confront her own feelings. She remembers the moments you made her laugh, the times you held her when she cried, the way you made her feel safe. All of it rushes back when there's no new moment to distract her. Men who master absence. Look at history. Julius Caesar would disappear for months to conquer new lands and return to Rome more desired than ever. Alexander the Great would leave behind lovers who wrote letters in tears, begging for his return. Even philosophers like Seneca advised stepping back from society at times to reflect, to gain perspective, to become more effective when they returned. Modern men think they're losing her by disappearing, but the truth is you're giving her the space to choose you freely, and choice is what creates loyalty. Your mission is not to be her entertainment, not to be her emotional crutch. Your mission is to become the man who doesn't fear her absence, because you know you're complete on your own. When you can do that, you become magnetic, you stop chasing, you let her come to you, not because you tricked her, but because you showed her you're the rarest kind of man, a man who knows his worth. Drop a comment below. Have you ever seen someone value you more when you gave them space? If this resonates, like, share, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe. Let's build a generation of men who lead with strength and wisdom. Chapter 3. Ancient Wisdom, the Stoic Approach to Detachment in Love. Let's go deeper. Because what we're talking about isn't just tactics. It's not just about making her chase. This is about building you, about forging a man who can stand alone. Because the truth is, the only reason disappearing works, the only reason silence has power, is that it demands you become someone strong enough to walk away. And for that we turn to the Stoics. What is Stoic detachment? People hear detachment and think coldness, indifference. But that's not what the Stoics taught. True detachment is freedom from being ruled by your emotions. It's not about not caring. It's about caring the right way. Seneca put it beautifully. He is most powerful who has power over himself. Think about that. How many men do you know who have power over anything except their own desires? They can't say no, they can't leave when they're disrespected, they can't face being alone. So they stay, they chase, they beg, they give their power away for what? For the illusion of love, the power of indifference to outcome. The ancient Stoics taught that we can't control others. We can't control how she feels, we can't control if she chooses us, but we can control our response. We can control our standards. We can say, "I would love for you to be in my life, but if you don't see my value, I will walk away and I won't look back." That's not a threat. That's not game playing. That's clarity. It's the opposite of manipulation because you're telling the truth. Why women need your strength. Here's a secret most dating coaches won't tell you. Women need you to be this man because love without respect is worthless. If she can walk all over you, she'll lose attraction, even if she doesn't want to. It's instinctive. She wants to feel safe. She wants to know you can lead. She wants to know you have enough self-respect to say no. Because if you don't respect yourself, why should she? Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Imagine applying this to love. She ignores you, disrespects you. Most men lose their minds, but the Stoic man says, "I see this. I don't accept it. I revoke its power over me." And then he acts. If she crosses his line, he disappears, not out of anger, but out of principle. When you vanish, you're not just testing her, you're testing yourself. Can you handle the silence? Can you face your fear of loss? Can you trust that your worth doesn't depend on her validation? Most men can't. They disappear for a day, then crawl back with an apology. They're like a man on a diet who can't resist the candy bar on the counter. Disappearing requires discipline, and that discipline is what builds your character. In almost every ancient tradition, men were taught to withdraw. The Stoics would retreat to nature to reflect. The samurai would meditate alone to master their fear. Even religious monks took vows of silence to hear their own thoughts, because clarity is born in absence. When you step away from her, you see the truth. Do you really love her, or just the idea of her? Does she really love you, or just your availability? Are you building something healthy, or just avoiding loneliness? Women are drawn to masculine energy, and masculine energy is about direction, decisiveness, boundaries. When you disappear, you demonstrate all three. You say, "This is the direction I'm going toward self-respect. I'm decisive enough to leave if I'm not valued. I have boundaries you will not cross." And paradoxically, that draws her in, because she knows she can't shake you. She knows you won't tolerate disrespect. She knows you have standards. Why modern society hates this, let's be honest. Modern society doesn't want men like this. They want you obedient, eager to please, afraid to lose her. They tell you love means sacrifice, and it does, but not sacrifice of your self-respect. Real love is a choice between two people who could walk away but choose to stay. That's only possible if both know their own worth. So here's your challenge. Can you be the man who doesn't flinch? Can you look at the woman you want and say, "If you don't see my value, I'll be gone," and mean it? Because that's the moment you stop being replaceable. That's when she realizes she can lose you, and that's when she truly decides if you're the man she can't live without. Drop a comment below. Tell us if you've ever had to choose self-respect over someone you loved. If you're ready to master this mindset, like, share, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe. Let's bring back a world where men know their worth. Chapter 4. How to build the unreplaceable man. She regrets losing. Let's bring it all together, because disappearing isn't just about punishing her or teaching her a lesson. It's about becoming the kind of man she can't replace. The man she thinks about when she's lying in bed at night. The man she compares every other man to. And the only way to become that man is through transformation. Through forging yourself in the fire of discipline, self-awareness, and unwavering standards. Step 1. Define your standards. Most men don't even know what they want. They know they want her. But what kind of relationship, what kind of respect, what kind of behavior is non-negotiable? In ancient times, warriors would engrave their code of honor on their weapons. It reminded them of who they were, even in the chaos of battle. You need your own code. Write it down. Know your lines in the sand. Because if you don't define your standards, she will test them, and you will fail. Step 2. Build emotional control. Let's be honest, disappearing sounds easy, but it's not. It's hard. It hurts. You will want to break the silence. You'll want to see if she misses you. You'll want to soothe your anxiety, but that's the test. Emotional control isn't about never feeling. It's about not letting those feelings make your decisions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is your arena, your mind. Master it, and you master everything else. Step 3. Invest in yourself relentlessly. Absence only works if what you're offering is worth missing. Be brutally honest. If you vanish, does she lose anything of value? Or is she relieved you're gone? Or women don't miss men who were empty, lazy, needy. They miss men who inspired them, protected them, challenged them, who made them feel alive. When you disappear, use that time to become that man. Read, train, build your mission. Become the kind of man who doesn't need her but chooses her. That's the difference between a boy and a king. Step 4. Master the art of letting go. Most men fear letting go because they think it's permanent. They think, if I leave, she'll never come back. And maybe she won't, but ask yourself, do you really want someone who wouldn't come back if you stopped begging? The Stoics taught amor fati, love of fate, accepting reality, not resisting it. If she returns, good. If she doesn't, also good. Because your peace isn't dependent on her choice. It's rooted in your own values. The irreplaceable man isn't afraid to be alone. Here's the brutal truth. If you can't be alone, you'll accept anything. You'll tolerate disrespect. You'll ignore red flags. You'll settle for crumbs because you're starving. But the man who is full, on his own terms, can wait. He can walk away. He doesn't fear silence. And women sense this. They can't control you with threats of leaving because you're already willing to go. That's power, not over her, over yourself. In ancient myths, the hero's journey always involved leaving home, leaving comfort, facing trials alone. Only then did he return transformed. Women want the man who has walked that path, not the boy who never left his mother's side. When you disappear, you're enacting your own hero's journey. You're proving to yourself that you can survive without her. And that changes you. You stop being the man who needs her. You become the man who chooses her. What happens when she returns? Make no mistake. When you do this properly, many women will come back, not immediately, but eventually. They'll test the waters. They'll send that hey ... text. They'll act like nothing happened. When this happens, remember, you don't just let them back in without question. You don't reward disrespect. You don't forget why you left. You have standards now. If she wants to come back, she meets those standards, not with words, but with consistent behavior. If she returns sincerely, you don't hold it over her. You don't punish her. You don't play mind games, but you don't forget your worth. You lead. You communicate clearly. You show her the man she almost lost and why she won't get another chance to take him for granted, because you're not afraid to leave again. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. And women respect it deeply, even if they don't admit it. Sometimes she won't come back. Good. You needed to know better to lose someone who can't see your value than to spend years trying to prove it. In that loss, you gain yourself, your standards, your dignity, and you free yourself to find someone who truly respects the man you've become and your legacy as a man. One day you'll look back at your life. Ask yourself, did you chase people who didn't want you? Did you compromise your self-worth for validation? Or did you become the man who walked away when respect was gone? Your children will see this, your friends will see this, but most importantly, you will see it. Be the man you respect. Because in the end, that's the only approval that truly matters. Drop a comment below. Tell us how you're working to become the man who knows his worth. If you found value in this, like, share, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe. Let's build a generation of men who choose strength, wisdom, and real love.